Back here, it's Doubling Down Colin with Vinny. I have a special guest today because after Vinny made a $1.80 profit on last week's hit, he decided it's time to take a vacation. What's up, everybody? Colin Sheehan here on Trust the Profits YouTube. We're on a show here called Doubling Down with Colin and Vinny, and as you can see, I do not have Vinny with me today. Instead, I have Andrew. He is PhillyBoy415 on your Twitter. As a great follow, I've seen some of the tickets you've posted, and the one that you have pinned is one that I always like to look at, one that you almost hit ice cold, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty fun during the quarantine times. Can't replicate that recently, but I'm trying.
So you got a big seat to fill. As I said, Vinny finally got me and him off the snide with his big score last week. He decided to put Jack Christopher on his ticket. I took a stand against and trying to get a little bit of value. His $9 ticket paid out $10.80. So if you can get us a $1.80 profit, me and Vinny's job might be in trouble. So we'll see what we can do. I know that you're a big turf handicapper, as we talked prior to the show. You wanted to look at Kentucky Downs. So if people stand by, we're going to have a special episode this week, also on the Trust the Profits YouTube page for Kentucky Downs. But let us know a little bit about why your inclination towards turf.
Turf, to me, I would say produces a little bit better prices. Usually they're a little bit more competitive fields, and they come in all types of shapes and sizes. In which I like really I like 2-year-old, 3-year-olds, but mostly like the maiden special weights on turf, especially at the bigger tracks where they have bigger and better breedings, and you can really dive into it with the formulator system for DRF. But yeah, no, turf races are more fun to watch to me, and it's a little bit more rewarding when you see them, come through the crowd, the pack, or come from over the top or whatever. And a little bit more fair too. So I usually just like to do that for price point wise.
All right, so we're going to give you a fastball right down the middle. We decided to start off today's daily double in race 2. We're looking at Friday. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's September 2nd. Race 2, we're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Optional claimers, 62,500. And I know you've got some pretty strong opinions in these two races. We're looking at race 2 and race 3 on Friday. Where you're starting with in race 2?
Starting with the number 6, L Nation, for Michael Trombetta, and their barn. Their horse is coming from Maryland, which is interesting because he's had a string of horses up there for basically the last couple years, especially this year, and he's actually run a lot. So this one shipping in is actually pretty interesting to me because there's no really reason besides if this horse is – the only reason would be is that this horse is ready to go. It's coming out of a restricted Maryland bred stake at Laurel, where at this exact distance came flying from the clouds and almost won, but she came up just short. I think that there's a little bit of a possible speed duel between the 3 and the 1 here, unless somebody else gets really bold and confident and goes. But the 3 should set somewhat quick fractions as she usually does. Which should set up for L Nation to hopefully be coming from, hopefully not too far back. But, when you get a jockey like Jose Ortiz, you never really know. But I hope he gets a clean trip. And if she gets a clean trip, she should be tough to catch late.
Yeah, it was definitely a horse that I was debating back and forth on putting on my ticket or leaving off the ticket. I've noticed I use Brisnet, the improving speed figures for the most part. I noticed it was from Laurel and Monmouth. One thing I was a little concerned about, and those speed figures are amongst the best in this field. And I'm probably looking too much into this. I tend to look too much into this. I've read The Complete Handicapper by James Quinn, and looking at horses that are in a race for an optional claim. Sometimes I pay attention to the horses that are put in for a claim and those that aren't put in for the claim. And when I had to end up finally making my final cuts, I decided to leave the 6 off. But if it beats me, I'm not going to be that surprised. I'll probably be more frustrated that I left this 6 off. I didn't see anything that was really crazy sticking out to me here. And I actually decided to lean towards this one. Let's be clear, at 20 to 1. And I don't do this a lot, so I have a little bit more of coverage on me with this ticket. But I really like the cutback this horse is taking. Um, they're taking a shot on the turf here. It's first time on the turf. And so I understand that that's a little bit of a wild card. But because of the field that I'm looking at, I'm hoping that that wild card will help get me some really good value here. The dam has 2 winners on the turf out of 3 starters. I also took note that this horse, this is the 3rd trainer in the last 3 races. So the horse continues to get claimed. So to me, that's a positive sign. And now you got Englehart, who's hit at 22% at this meet, putting this horse on the turf. Not great first on the grass, 9%. Not great first after a claim, 12%. But from what I looked at and what I saw, and as you said, you think that the one might have some early speed in a 5.5 furlong race. I'll take a shot with that any day at 20 to 1. So is that my first pick? I don't know, but it's definitely going to be one that's on my ticket. The other horse that you mentioned there is the 3, who's the 7-5 morning line favorite, Mail Order. The early speed certainly in this race for Bill Mott with Jose Lescano. What did you decide to do with this 3 Mail Order?
In my it sounds crazy to say that in my spread ticket I have the 7-5, but not in my dialed in ticket. But but I do think that this horse it probably will take a little bit extra money. Hopefully it doesn't. I think the 2 might take some money second time off the layoff for Clement. But this horse, like, she runs good. The distance should be right where she needs to be. But I didn't really like her last race. I thought she had a little bit, she had not that many excuses, but she came up short anyway. Lescano dominates the Saratoga turf, so that's a positive any day of the week. It's just that she finished behind Hit the Well, and Hit the Well kind of ran a way better race in my opinion because of just the way that was all set up. So I'm using her defensively, but if I really had to, I probably wouldn't use her on a more narrow ticket. So that's why I kind of went with L Nation first.
So we've obviously cornered you into your ticket here, playing the double. I should have started and asked you: is a double the type of bet that you usually plays? Is that something?
I lately I've been kind of doing the pick 5s a lot, which kills your bankroll because you can't hit them that often. But
yeah,
they're a little bit more fun, and I like to map out a sequence. So like the daily doubles, I do like to try to play them. Usually I do like a $5 daily double cold if I like 2 horses back-to-back races. And they usually are fun to play too. So yeah, no, doubles are definitely my repertoire.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that is because that's when I think about last week and the reason I missed my ticket was I left Jack Christopher off. We both had the 4 Noble Mission or Noble Emotions. I forget the name of the horse. That was kind of where I thought when I looked at this race, and I wasn't crazy about the 3 Mail Order at 7-5. I also had 2 other horses that I am intrigued by. But in that instance, I'm going to just leave that favorite off because my ticket's not going to be that expensive. Whereas if this is a pick 4, pick 5, I think you certainly make those points on why you might keep Mail Order on your ticket. I also did include the 2 and the 5 on my ticket. So I went 1, 2, 5 in this first leg. The 5 is cutting back in distance, something that I always love to see when I see in the stretch that the horse was within a length or 2 of the lead. So within a length of the tour lead at 6 furlongs, his run at a mile, 7 furlongs. I'm hoping that cutback with Christophe Clement is going to be what this horse needs in order to get me there. And then the 2 Hit the Woe. I like the speed figures that I saw on the turf. You kind of have to go through the past performances there a little bit and separate out the races that were on the dirt, the one that was off the turf, the mile race on the turf. I like that Joel Rosario's back up. And so I went 1, 2, 5 in the first leg here. You obviously have the 6 and the 3. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm gonna have 2 tickets. We're gonna show them on the bottom scroll thing, hopefully. So the main ticket is a little bit of a spread ticket. I'm going 3x3. So these 3 horses I have are the 2, 3, and 6. And then I'm going to be playing a cold daily double with the horse that we're going to get into with the next race. But I'm going to be singling the 6 on the cold double. So I'm going to kind of narrow in and try to capitalize on the 6, but have a little coverage with the 2 and the 3 in case it kind of chalks out.
And why did you like the 2, just to make me feel more confident?
That second off the layoff, the horse
Yep.
really ran well. I think that she needed a race, and Joelle's been riding really well, and everything just is kind of it's not too complicated on the form, so it kind of just looks like this is the race where it's the make or break race to see if this horse still has the form that it had before.
So I love when I hear handicappers that are smarter than me on my show enjoying a similar horse. So we'll jump on over here to race 3 for the second leg of the daily double that we're looking at on Friday, September 2nd at Saratoga. You had to make a decision here. We're going a mile and 3/8 on the inner turf for maiden special weights. You have 2 horses here in the 2 and the 3. The 2 is a 9-5. And the 3 is 2-1 with Trombetta and Shad Brown. You kind of had to make a decision here. If you're going to go with those 2, you probably have to pick one of them, which you did in your skinny ticket, or maybe you go elsewhere. You went with the 3 here to do your Trombetta double. What made you land on the 3 on your skinny ticket?
I just think that it's more attractive with the 3 than it is with the 2, because the 3 has experience at this level, has finished just missing the winner circle in multiple tries around this level, around this distance. Trombetta had this horse last time out really ready to go, and with that being said, I think that Johnny V sticking with the horse, going 3/8 instead of 3/16, also just beating out Most Wanted Man last time out with a little bit better of a kick. Everything kind of just points that this horse is the better of the 2 and is improving at the right times, and I think benefits from the distance more. So that's why I want to go with a Trombetta double. They're good friends of mine, that whole barn, Michael himself. So I hope that they can end the meet with a good, little double for my, bankroll.
And then on your longer ticket, you did include the 1, who is a horse that I included. And this is against everything I've learned in the art of handicapping is you have a horse that dropped down to a maiden claiming, stepping back up to maiden special weight. What was it that you liked about the 1?
The 1, I think, is screaming for this type of distance. And it showed 2 back in the maiden special weight when they tried it at a mile 3/8. And he broke a step slow. He came wide on the first turn. Then out the second turn, he was more 5 wide again. Then he was wide at the quarter pole. He's really he ran probably an extra whole furlong than the rest of the field, and still managed to get third and still came on with a good kick. And then they dropped it in for a tag for some strange reason and cut it back in distance, which I was kind of confused about. Horse came running good again. Luckily, nobody claimed it, and now they put it back in the spot that it was 2 back. So I think that they seen that this horse has potential. Pratt maybe said, let's stretch this horse back out, and hopefully this horse just wants the mile 3/8 and just needs a cleaner trip.
Yeah, and the 1 is the 5 here. You can see that kick right there at the end, and I think I have it replaying twice here, so you can watch it again. The 5 with the white cap. Watch him duck on the inside right here to follow in behind the 8 on the rail. And this horse is moving. And like you said, this is a shorter distance. And then right here, watch this kick again to pass the 3 and almost get up. Obviously, wasn't going to catch the 4, but you're getting a longer distance on this horse. And that was the reason that I was attracted to this 1 in this race here, was going back and looking at that replay. And I went back and looked at the replay on August 10th that we had talked about with the 2 and the 3 in it. It just wasn't really as impressed with what I saw coming out of that race. Sometimes my eyes deceive me. Obviously, on paper, they were at the higher level. And so I really can't fault you there. But like I said, with the double, I'm kind of trying to take a little bit of a longer shot. So I'm okay passing on those 2 favorites, because the other horse that grabbed my attention was the 4 Outperform for Pletcher and Jose Ortiz. The first 3 races for this horse were on the dirt. They skip him over the turf. His speed figure continues to improve. And I watched that race replay on August 19th, race 4 at Saratoga. this horse took forever to get going. I mean, it just seemed like asking, and this horse was just wait. It's like, when is this horse going to run? And when he finally does show some run on the stretch there, loses by a length and 3/4, finishes fourth. But I think that was a really sneaky, solid race. And so this 4 Outperform is actually who I would put on top, because I'm more confident in the 4 than I am the 1. But in a double, when I'm going to have to go looking for the price, I'm more likely to take a shot against the 2 favorites and add in this 4. What'd you think about the 4? Did you look at the 4 at all? Did he give you any consideration?
The 4, I like the 4. I just think that the horse gets into too much trouble every time, whether it's on dirt or turf, kind of out, especially out of the gate. And then it kind of, you know, like you said earlier, he takes a while to get into like a rhythm, which to me, in a 6-horse field, I mean, that could be, you know, there's not going to be a huge pace scenario. There's not going to be a lot of horses getting tired where you can kind of build up some momentum. Mm-hmm. So I think that he might be a little bit too far back or a little bit too slow at the start. And at a mile and 3/8, they might get loose on him up front, or the other horses might get going a little bit quicker. And that's why I think the 3 is going to be the one that gets the jump on everybody, hopefully with Johnny V. So yeah, it was a horse I looked at for a while though.
Yeah, definitely valid points. I always look at those bad breaks as I look at them as a positive almost. Like, I use them as an excuse why the horse didn't win, and hopefully this horse can get a clean break and doesn't have that problem in the beginning. And the bump at the bump, it says bumps between the break on the last race. I watched that. The bump wasn't bad, but he did get pinched between horses and was immediately kind of placed well back, 6th place. So he did have to kind of make up against the whole field. So of course, if that happens again, I'll immediately know that the 4 is not going to win this race, and I can rip up the ticket before they hit that second turn. So that's where I go. And did you give any consideration to the 5 or the 6 in this race?
No, I don't. I mean, unless, you know, I don't like the 5 really at all. I think that the 5 is just a class below. And the 6, the 6 would be the one that would probably, you know, light up the tote board with our tickets. But you know, it definitely has the breeding and definitely has everything else. I just don't know if the distance is what this horse wants. The blinkers on help. Saya's definitely helps. But the horse didn't really have a response with Chad Brown and Maiden 75, which is the same race that Good Medicine came out of. So there wasn't enough for me to really go on with the 6, so I kind of just didn't use it.
Yeah, if we're going to decide between the 2, the 1's probably the better choice there for you. So, So that's what we have. I have a $9 ticket for the Friday Daily Double, race 2 and race 3. It's going across the screen there for you. I have to wait till it comes back because I don't have it right here in front of me.
I think yours is 6 and mine is 9.
You're right. I went 3 by 2. So we have a 1-2-5 in the first leg, 1-4 in the second leg for $6. Andrew's taking a stand with a $10 ticket going 6-3, the Trombetta double. And for ticket number 2, 2-3-6 with the 1-2-3. So do we have the possibility of both hitting it? We come 2 and 1. If it comes 2-1,
if it comes 2-1, we got it.
We got it. So that's what we will hope for. And we are going to come back after this with another episode to look at Kentucky Downs, the opening meet. Actually, we'll be looking at Saturday's double on Kentucky Downs. So stick around, and hopefully we can get you 2 hits on the daily double this weekend. And Vinny will be looking for work.